Do you have? Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm so excited to have Lauren here. We know each other pretty well. She started with me and I'm so excited, but I want to let her talk. But first, for every comment, for every heart, for every emoji, we are going to give Lauren a $1 towards Amazon. So please give her so much love because she's so deserving. She's amazing. Okay, Lauren, enough about me. Tell us who you are, what you do. We love you so much already. Tell us.
Yeah, my name is Lauren Isaacson, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of this process too. Um, and I am the owner and founder of the Tutoring Hub Tutoring and Advocacy. So we work with students and families to empower those students to support those families that might need just a little extra support academically or with special education as well. That's definitely my heart. And we advocate alongside of them with IEP or 504 concerns. So that's what I get to do day in and day out. And so I'm very excited um, to kind of share that. So thanks for letting me share that.
Absolutely. And that's very close to my heart. So I just appreciate you so much as a human. And your story is so inspirational. And you are going to inspire and empower so many women. So Lauren, walk us through where your health was prior to starting the midlife makeover program and what's going on now.
Yeah, so I was put in a unique situation back in 2021. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and with a celiac gluten allergy, basically. And it was more inflamed by the foods, processed foods, things like that. Um, and I had gone overseas teaching for a few years during the pandemic. And when I came back, my health started to rapidly decline. And so I knew I needed to do something about it if I wanted to prepare for a family in the future. And so a lot of that was attributed to probably a few extra pounds, but also what I was eating and when I was eating, how much I was eating. And I just wasn't aware of even the stress that came with those diagnoses and how just day-to-day stress was impacting my overall health. And due to, family concerns and other health genetic problems, I knew that I wanted to do something now before, I got too far in my middle life uh, that I couldn't do anything about it. So,
Thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that. Okay. So let's get to your like how you feel. Like I've seen your pictures. What do you feel like your biggest wins are since joining?
yeah, I think one of them is just my gut feeling so much better. um, which I think people that have underlying health conditions, gut health is a huge thing for a lot of people, especially nowadays with what is going into our food here. And so, getting down to the basics of here's a protein, here's a carb, and here is a veggie for every meal has tremendously helped how my gut feels. Even my sleeping habits have definitely improved. I had a hard time getting to sleep for my entire life. And though it's not perfect,
No.
it has definitely seen improvement over the course of we're coming up on 1 year in the program. So, um, I mean, I knew that I had to do kind of this step in order to make that happen. But I definitely feel like I have more energy because I'm not worried about necessarily what my body is consuming because now it's just a habit. Um, and I know when I'm feeding and fueling my body. And then obviously, I'm a very athletic person. So I like the workouts. I like that it's guided and it's short, so I can manage it in my crazy schedule. Um, and that is just leaving me feeling stronger. And I mean, it's a good feeling when you can see like, oh, I've got some biceps. I've got some abs showing up again. So yeah, I would say overall, I feel um, a huge difference. I think that's the word that I would choose.
Yeah, I feel, and yeah, you feel great, and you look great. I know you have a hard time saying that, but you do. So let's talk about like the before again. Like before you started, what were you kind of like maybe afraid of, skeptical of because you had tried so many things, and what were you kind of fearful of before we started?
I think the fear of like how is it going to work in my schedule was a big component for me because I work all the time. And so how was I going to fit in all of the necessary things? I think a financial piece was involved in just thinking, oh my goodness, healthy food costs more. How is this going to affect kind of the bottom line if I'm spending more time, going to the grocery store to make sure I have those components when it's easier and cheaper to buy the not so good stuff. Um, that would still, I still enjoy and uh, dedefinitely making sure that I, keep my chocolate every day. So, but I think those were kind of the fear factors and also the fear that it wouldn't work. Um, that even though no matter how much I tried, I still felt like my body would not um, be able to kind of follow the guidelines and the plan um, and actually feel better. Uh, and I think it took my body a little bit of time to adjust to the changes that I was making, especially when it came to food. And there were times that, my body told me, hey, slow down. So I had to react to that.
Yeah. So so walk us through, and I think that those are all very legit fears. Like everybody's afraid of like how much time things will take and that kind of stuff. Like I think those are very legit fears. So how did the experience kind of help you overcome your fear, like from where you were and how you're fearing to now?
I definitely think if it weren't for the accountability piece and having, you guys check in all the time, I think I wouldn't have had success in the same manner. I might have been able to, complete it, but I wouldn't have the same success rate, I think. I had a hard time after hitting the first 10 pounds were first five to 10 pounds were pretty easy. I saw that significant change right away. It was when things didn't lose quick enough in my mind. I was like,
Hmm.
oh no. So you guys really helped me kind of guide through that process, change some things. When I was having a very difficult season, time-wise, fitting in longer workouts, we changed to shorter workouts that were more frequent. And so we navigated kind of the ups and downs of life. And I think that was what I absolutely needed to be successful. Knowing that someone was saying, yeah, it's okay when you're sick to take a rest day. Yes, and that's happened. I think I've told you I'm sick again like 4 or 5 times. So, you acknowledging that that's okay and it's not going to negatively affect the plan for longevity. I think that was something that I needed the coach side to pull out in me. If I were doing this by myself without that, I don't think I would have been successful.
Yeah, that's really good. And it's such a different set like of mindset, right? Where you think, oh, I have to lose this super fast and instead of like I have to lose this sustainably for
Mhm.
right. So talk us through because you did mention your chocolate every day and we are both chocoholics. Like you both love chocolate and I always have chocolate every day. So walk us through like how did your mindset change from the beginning to like where you are now with your mindset?
Yeah, I think I realized how much I can, my handful is very inaccurate of measuring. So I come from a family that gets the like Costco size bag of chocolate chips that has
Same.
the zip um thing where you can close it and open it with ease, right? And just dipping your hand in and grabbing a whole thing of chocolate chips is very different than measuring it out. So I think measuring was the biggest thing for me that I realized, oh, like this is actually either a lot more than I thought or way like not enough as what I thought. And I think that specifically came to like meat as well. But my chocolate, my sweets that I wasn't really measuring, I was just grabbing and walking out the door. It made a difference. And so having that be tracked for like everybody to see was definitely what needed to happen. And so even like those little things of, a little extra butter in the pan or oil, not knowing how much even a tablespoon of oil is calorie wise, definitely changed the way I cook as well.
That is so relatable. That is so relatable. So, I am a person who loves to eat a lot, and so I love to teach that like the volume eating while still getting treats. Okay, but let's kind of talk back with you. Like, what was your favorite part of the program? Like, what was your
Hmm.
what is your favorite part of the program?
I actually really enjoy the workouts because um, I enjoy not doing the same thing every day.
Yeah.
And there's some weeks where you're repeating the exercises and you're able to see even, I can do more reps or I can do more weight as I progress throughout. And it's also challenging some of those muscle groups that I haven't worked out in a while. And so definitely at the beginning, I noticed, I was sore and tired a little bit easier throughout the day. So I knew it was working. And I liked that challenge. There are still some exercises that I will modify for myself because I know my limitations, or if I'm too sore or if I'm sick, dropping some weight a little bit, um, has been something that I've been able to like learn throughout the program. But I find it fun and energizing to have a specific workout that I can check off my list in the morning because I'm that kind of person.
I'm
So
a
having
checker all
like
day. I'm a checker also.
and so the app is actually great because I can go in and I'm like, all right, I want to see that check. Oh, that one's not checked yet. I have to go do it. Um, so that's kind of a fun part for me. Um, and it gets me out, and luckily I have a pretty easy gym access that I'm not, having to also, break the bank of paying a gym membership where you're there to explain the ones that I don't understand how to do properly. And so I think that's been like the real fun part for me is to get back in that athlete mindset that I kind of left in high school and college days, and to see the impact of me being able to actually see some muscles and be confident in that. So,
I
yeah.
wish you would give yourself more credit because you look so good. But so what would you say to someone who was either following us for a little bit or following us for a long time or just met us and just booked a call or hasn't booked a call yet? What would you say? And they were contemplating maybe doing this, but they were afraid. They've done all these other things before, Weight Watchers and like all the other things. And they don't know like how this is different. What would you say to someone like that?
Well, first off, I could probably say I relate. Because I've tried those things too. I've even tried it on my own, thinking in that athlete mindset that I've got it all down. But having someone to hold you accountable that's, not necessarily going to be your best friend of like, yeah, you did great anytime, but actually say, no, like this needs to change. If you want this goal, this needs to change. I also think like the calls that happen where you set your goals for longevity and you can shoot high, but then you know that you're actually going to uh, be held accountable for that goal, right? And even though I haven't made each mini goal along the way, I'm definitely seeing an almost to that overarching goal that I wanted to see. And I think when I came in, I was just disappointed, not only in myself, but in the other things that I had tried and didn't have success with. Um, and now, like, I don't feel that disappointment. I don't feel like this was in any way, shape, or form the wrong thing for me. And if someone's like second guessing, I always say, like, trust your gut. Your gut's gonna tell you a lot. And so if their gut is saying, like, keep coming back to you guys, or you pop up on their feed for Facebook, there's a reason for that, and I think they should listen to it. If they jump in and they regret it, I don't think that's possible. Because either that either they are not jumping in and taking their own responsibility, or like I don't think it's possible for them to fail with this. So
Yeah.
um, I think they should just jump in with 2 feet. And I think they'll realize they have a really strong community of like-minded people, which just makes it easier to say, like, all right, this is for me.
Lauren, I'm so happy. Thank you for coming on here and sharing that. I I loved what you said because it's so true. We're not going to just be like, great job. We're going to, we're positive, but we're going to also give you feedback, which is what coaches do. And we're going to check on you several times during the week, because that's just what we do. So I just really wanted to thank you. And if you are listening to this and you're like, gosh, I'm like Lauren, I've tried so many things it's just I'm disappointed, not just like I'm disappointed because I haven't gotten anywhere. Message us, be like Lauren, and we'll see if you feel like this is a good fit, if we feel like this is a good fit. But either way, messaging us doesn't commit you, it just a message. Lauren, thank you so much. This was so like I love talking to you. You're such an inspiration. You're so empowering, and thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you.